In the ancient kingdom of Macedonia, nestled amidst rugged landscapes and powerful dynasties, a child was born. This wasn't just any child. This was the destined heir, the future conqueror of lands yet unknown. Born in Pella around 356 BC, Alexander, the son of King Philip II and Queen Olympias, entered a world fraught with both political intrigue and the echoes of clashing swords. As a young Macedonian prince, Alexander's childhood unfolded within the opulent walls of the royal palace. Surrounded by the regal splendor of Pella, he absorbed the grandeur of his heritage. The Macedonian court, a theater of power and ambition, set the stage for the shaping of a young ruler. His early years were marked by exposure to the intricate dance of politics, the art of statecraft, and the expectations befitting a prince destined for greatness. The royal household, with its myriad of advisors, warriors, and courtiers, became Alexander's first classroom. Here, he witnessed the delicate balance of power, the alliances formed, and the betrayals plotted. The young prince, though sheltered, was not shielded from the complexities of ruling. His keen observations of his father, King Philip II, navigating the intricate web of Macedonian politics, planted the seeds of leadership in his impressionable mind. The dynamics of courtly politics became a canvas upon which the young prince painted his initial strokes of rulership. The nobles, generals, and courtiers who had witnessed Alexander's valor at Chaeronea now looked to him with a blend of expectation and scrutiny. The transition from heir apparent to reigning monarch unfolded amidst the backdrop of a kingdom poised for greatness. Aristotle, recognizing the potential within his royal pupil, tailored his teachings to instill not just knowledge, but a thirst for understanding. The young prince's education extended beyond the academic. It became a journey into the realms of ethics, rhetoric, and the essence of leadership. The influence of Aristotle, the philosopher, mentor, permeated Alexander's worldview, fostering a mind that sought not just conquest, but enlightenment. Yet within the confines of the palace walls, Alexander yearned for more than theoretical knowledge. The world outside beckoned with its challenges and uncharted territories. His father, King Philip II, a seasoned warrior and strategist, saw the warrior's spirit within his son. As part of his education, Alexander was immersed in the military training that would prepare him for the turbulent times ahead. The young Macedonian prince honed his skills in the art of war, learned the tactics of battle, and embraced the camaraderie of soldiers. This wasn't mere preparation for a distant future. It was the forging of a warrior spirit that would define Alexander's legacy. The clash of swords in training grounds echoed with the promise of a destiny entwined with the fate of nations. In the shadows of Mount Olympus, where gods and mortals intertwined, a young prince shaped by the dynamics of his royal lineage, the wisdom of a philosopher, and the rigor of military training, embarked on a journey. Little did the world know that within the heart of Macedonia, a force was rising, a force that would soon challenge the known boundaries of empires and etch the name Alexander into the annals of history. The stage was set, and the Macedonian prince was ready to claim his place among the stars. In the hallowed halls of academia, amidst the scrolls of wisdom and the echoes of philosophical discourse, a pivotal chapter of Alexander's journey unfolded. Entering the world of ideas, the young Macedonian prince found himself under the tutelage of one of history's greatest minds. Picture a young Alexander, his mind a canvas awaiting the strokes of intellectual brilliance. Aristotle, a luminary in the realm of philosophy, became the guiding light in the prince's pursuit of knowledge. As their paths converged, a transformative relationship burgeoned, shaping not just a king, but a visionary. Aristotle himself, a product of Plato's teachings, understood the profound impact education could have on a burgeoning mind. The philosopher recognized in Alexander not just a royal charge, but a soul hungry for enlightenment. Thus began a journey into the realms of philosophy, ethics, and the profound mysteries of existence. Under Aristotle's guidance, the young prince delved into the works of Plato, Socrates, and the great thinkers who had laid the foundation of Western philosophy. The Academy, a bastion of intellectual inquiry, provided the backdrop for this exchange of ideas. Within its walls, Alexander didn't merely absorb information. He engaged in spirited dialogues that challenged his intellect and expanded his horizons. Aristotle's teachings went beyond the theoretical. The philosopher, Mentor recognized the duality within his pupil, a mind capable of both strategic prowess and contemplative depth. As Alexander imbibed the tenets of ethics and rhetoric, he simultaneously grappled with the complexities of leadership, realizing that the art of ruling demanded a harmonious blend of wisdom and pragmatism. The Lyceum, Aristotle's philosophical school, became Alexander's haven for intellectual exploration. Discussions on metaphysics, politics, and the nature of knowledge echoed within its walls. The young prince, amidst the scent of olive groves and the murmur of philosophical debates, discovered not just the intricacies of thought, but the power of critical inquiry. Aristotle's influence extended beyond the academic realm. The philosopher became a mentor in matters of character, guiding Alexander through the labyrinth of ethical dilemmas that accompany power. The young prince, destined for a life of conquest, found in Aristotle not just a teacher, but a moral compass. In this segment of Alexander's journey, envision a young mind blossoming under the tutelage of Aristotle, the philosopher. King in the making. The philosopher's teachings, a tapestry woven with threads of reason and introspection, shaped Alexander's intellectual foundation and laid the groundwork for the visionary leader he would become. As the sun cast long shadows over the Macedonian landscape, Aristotle's lessons resonated within Alexander. Little did the world know that within the embrace of philosophy, a force was emerging, a force that would soon embark on a journey that transcended the boundaries of the known world. The die was cast, and the Macedonian prince, armed with both sword and wisdom, stood poised at the threshold of destiny. Within the regal tapestry of the Macedonian court, where political machinations interwove with familial bonds, the influence of a powerful patriarch shaped the destiny of the young Alexander. King Philip II, a formidable ruler and strategist, cast a profound shadow over his son's early years, imprinting upon him the indelible marks of leadership. In the courtly chambers of Pella, the Macedonian capital, the young Prince Alexander witnessed the ebb and flow of power orchestrated by his father. Philip II, a shrewd and ambitious monarch, had ascended to the throne amid the turbulence of dynastic struggles. His reign marked a transformative era for Macedonia as he sought to forge a kingdom that would stand as a dominant force in the Hellenistic world. The influence of King Philip I on his son extended beyond the regal trappings of the palace. From an early age, Alexander was exposed to the intricacies of statecraft, the delicate dance of alliances, and the unyielding realities of governance. His father's military campaigns, marked by strategic brilliance and tactical innovation, unfolded like epics before the young prince's eyes, imprinting upon him the importance of martial prowess in the pursuit of greatness. As Philip I navigated the complex landscape of Macedonian politics. His interactions with allies and adversaries alike became valuable lessons for his heir. The young Alexander observed the art of diplomacy, the alliances forged through marriages, and the strategic foresight that characterized his father's rule. It was an education in the practicalities of kingship, a precursor to the challenges he would one day face. The bond between father and son was not merely one of hereditary succession, but a dynamic interplay of mentorship and filial respect. Philip II recognized in Alexander a reflection of his own ambitions, a son destined to carry forward the legacy of Macedonian might. The young prince, in turn, absorbed the wisdom of a ruler who had transformed a fragmented kingdom into a formidable empire. Amidst the clinking of golden goblets and the echoing footsteps in the corridors of power, the influence of King Philip I became an enduring motif in Alexander's psyche. The king's triumphs and setbacks, his strategic acumen on the battlefield, and the alliances that shaped the Macedonian court became the threads of a narrative woven into the fabric of the young prince's identity. In the shadow of Olympus, where gods and mortals commingled, Alexander's formative years were a blend of paternal guidance and royal intrigue. The Macedonian court, with its whispers of ambition and echoes of conquest, provided the backdrop for a young prince who, under the watchful gaze of his father, absorbed the lessons that would mold him into the visionary leader history would come to revere. As the torch of leadership passed from one generation to the next, the echoes of King Philip II's influence reverberated in the corridors of power. Little did the world know that within the heart of Macedonia, a force was rising, a force shaped by the indomitable spirit of a king and the aspirations of a prince, ready to carve his name into the annals of history. In the annals of Macedonian history, a pivotal moment unfolded on the plains of Chaeronea, a moment that would etch the name Alexander into the narrative of conquest and valor. The Battle of Chaeronea, a defining clash between the forces of Macedonia and a coalition of Greek city-states, became the crucible in which the young prince's mettle was tested and his destiny foretold. Picture the sun-drenched battlefield, the clash of shields, and the thundering hooves of charging cavalry. At the helm of the Macedonian forces stood the seasoned King Philip I, his strategic brilliance, a formidable force. By his side, a young Alexander, his armor gleaming in the sunlight, rode into the crucible of conflict, his first taste of the theater of war. The Battle of Chaeronea, fought in 338 BC, was a testament to the martial prowess of the Macedonian phalanx and the strategic genius of its commanders. The Greek city-states arrayed against the formidable Macedonian might sought to resist the expanding influence of Philippi I. Amidst the dust and tumult, the young Alexander, barely in his 20s, demonstrated a valor that belied his years. As the battle unfolded, Alexander's role was not that of a mere observer, but a participant in the unfolding drama. He led a contingent of cavalry, a position of responsibility that spoke volumes about the trust his father placed in his military acumen. The clash of swords, the resounding war cries, and the ebb and flow of the battlefield became the crucible in which the young prince's destiny was forged. In the wake of victory, the Battle of Chaeronea showcased Alexander's innate understanding of military tactics. His ability to command and inspire the troops underscored a natural gift for leadership. The clash, though a victory for Macedonia, also revealed the harsh realities of warfare, a lesson in bloodshed that would linger in the young prince's consciousness. The aftermath of Chaeronea marked a turning point in Alexander's journey. His role in battle had not only earned him accolades, but had set the stage for the grandeur that awaited him. The victory solidified the Macedonian hegemony in Greece, and Alexander, with each stride on the blood-soaked plains, emerged as a symbol of his father's legacy and Macedonian might. The echoes of Chaeronea reverberated through the Macedonian court and beyond. The young prince, having tasted the intoxication of victory, stood at the threshold of a future defined by conquest and destiny. Little did the world know that within the dust and echoes of that ancient battlefield, a force had emerged, a force named Alexander, whose journey had just begun, leaving an indelible mark on the pages of history. In the wake of victory, on the plains of Chaeronea, the young Alexander, now seasoned by the trials of both courtly intrigue and the crucible of battle, found himself standing on the precipice of a destiny that beckoned him to ascend the throne of Macedonia. The Battle of Chaeronea had not only solidified his military prowess, but had set in motion the wheels of succession, thrusting the crown of a vast kingdom onto the brow of the 20-year-old prince. Amidst the celebratory echoes of triumph, the Macedonian court witnessed a seamless transition of power. The battle-tested King Philip II, recognizing the capabilities of his son, moved to secure the legacy of the Argead dynasty. The political landscape, infused with the scent of victory and the taste of conquest, now saw Alexander ascending to a throne fraught with both privilege and responsibility. The dynamics of courtly politics became a canvas upon which the young prince painted his initial strokes of rulership. The nobles, generals, and courtiers who had witnessed Alexander's valor at Chaeronea now looked to him with a blend of expectation and scrutiny. The transition from heir apparent to reigning monarch unfolded amidst the backdrop of a kingdom poised for greatness. As Alexander assumed the mantle of kingship, the challenges that lay before him were multifaceted. The Macedonian kingdom, though a formidable force, was not without internal complexities. The king's role extended beyond the battlefield. It encompassed the delicate art of governance, the intricacies of diplomacy, and the maintenance of stability in the wake of victory. The young king, however, proved to be a masterful navigator of both the political and military realms. Inheriting a kingdom that had been transformed by the strategic genius of his father, Alexander embarked on a mission to solidify and expand Macedonian influence. His early actions spoke of a ruler who sought to assert his authority not merely through the might of arms, but through a vision that transcended the borders of the known world. The ascension to the throne brought with it not only the weight of a golden diadem, but also the expectations of a realm hungry for greatness. Alexander's policies, marked by a judicious blend of pragmatism and ambition, endeared him to both the military elite and the common populace. His strategic vision extended beyond the borders of Macedonia, hinting at a destiny that surpassed the confines of the Greek peninsula. The Battle of Chaeronea, a crucible that had tempered the young prince, now resonated in the corridors of power. The echoes of that victory were not just symbolic. They were the foundation upon which Alexander's rule would be built. As the Macedonian kingdom stood at the threshold of a new era, the world glimpsed the silhouette of a king whose destiny would be inscribed in the pages of history. Little did the world know that within the heart of Pella, where the shadows of royalty danced in the torchlight, a force had risen, a force named Alexander, whose ascent to the throne marked not just the continuation of a dynasty, but the advent of a ruler whose ambitions would soon transcend them. Known boundaries of empires, the stage was set, and the young king, with a realm at his command, stood poised to carve his name into the chronicles of conquest and glory. Stay tuned for the next episode as we explore Alexander's military campaigns. So subscribe and like for more.